set?
All set.
Okay, good evening. Open the meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to address the board on any topic may do so at this time. We'll also have another opportunity at the end of the meeting. No one? Okay. Minutes of the previous meeting from June 15th. Does the board know any errors or omissions?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as read, as written. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Bills. Anyone have any comments on the bills?
Make a motion that we, oh, wait a
Uh,
minute.
I have one addition.
yeah.
It's to the Champlain EMS. It's the 2021 EMS contract for $93,000.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept it, or pay the bills as, with the amendment?
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence?
We have one letter from Colin Duffy. We are looking to subdivide a town lot which we own that is adjacent to the village westerly limit on the south side of Smith Street. The intent is to create a lot with 100 feet of footage on Smith Street and a depth of 300 feet. The lot would be approximately 24,672 square feet. This will require a zoning variance from the town of Champlain, which currently requires a minimum lot size of 40,000 square feet and a minimum width of 175 feet. However, if public water or sewer is available, the minimum lot size is reduced to 20,000 square feet. An 8-inch village water main runs up to the property line of the proposed lot, and a 4-inch line continues past it for an additional distance of about 350 feet, servicing 3 properties outside the village limits. We would like to have a written statement from the village indicating that they would provide public water to the proposed lot to help us with our variance request to the town of Champlain zoning board. I'm enclosing several plot plans to help clarify our request. Thank you for your assistance, Colin Duffy.
Okay, if there's no objection from the board, this is the existing water line, requires nothing on behalf of the village except the actual connection in the future when they connect it. All he's asking for right now is a letter stating that he has access to village water. And I would ask if the board's okay with that. I don't even think we need a motion, it's just a business transaction. I would ask the clerk to send him a letter stating that he has access to village water and sewer.
Yep.
Definitely.
He's not asking to be hooked up right now, he's just
Right.
asking to clarify that he does have it, and he
Right.
does have it, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other correspondence?
No, that's it.
Okay. I have a number of things. I have a few things that were trustee Dart's. He will not be here tonight. He had a family emergency. First thing I have is a resolution 2020-25. This is for the water treatment plant improvement project. Whereas the project has been classified as type 1 action as defined by the State Environmental Quality Review seeker, and whereas the village Rouses Point sent a letter in part 1 of a full environmental assessment form to other potentially interested agencies and involved agencies, as these terms are defined in the seeker regulations found in 6 New York CRR, indicating the village's desire to serve as the lead agency, as this quoted term is defined in the seeker regulations, and to complete a coordinated review of the project. And whereas response from interested and involved agencies were requested, and each of the potentially interested and involved agencies has agreed to or raised no objections to the Village of Rouses Point Board serving as lead agency for the project. And whereas pursuant to the seeker regulations, the Village of Rouses Point Board has considered the significance of the potential environmental impacts of the project by A, using the criteria specified in section 617.7 of the seeker regulations, and B, examining the FEAF for the project, including the facts and conclusions in part 1, 2, and 3, together with available supporting information to identify the relevant areas of environmental concern. Be it therefore resolved that the Village Rouses Point Board hereby establishes itself as the lead agency for the project, and be it further resolved that based upon examination of the FEAF and other available supporting information, and considering both the magnitude and importance of each relevant area of environmental concern, and based further upon the village's knowledge of the area surrounding the project, the Village of Rouses Point Village Board makes the determination that the project will not have a significant adverse environmental impact and that the project will not require the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement. Be it further resolved that as a consequence of such findings and declaration and in compliance with regulations of seeker, the Village Rouses Point Board as lead agency hereby directs the village mayor to sign FEAF Part 3 determination of significance indicating a negative declaration has been issued for the project, and this resolution shall take effect immediately and will be properly noticed. I move that to the floor for a second.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Arno?
Aye.
Trustee Dart is absent. Trustee Menard?
Aye.
Trustee Gadway?
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. Let's see. Okay, a couple of meetings ago, we voted to award an engineering contract for the infiltration study of the sewer collection system and also prepare engineering plans for the force main bypass project. And it was miscalculated for the sum of, they had it up to, I think it was $36,000 or something. It was, anyway, we recalculated it, and the actual grant is $24,000 with a 20% match of the village of $4,800. Total amount is $28,800. So what we're doing is we're adjusting the fee downwards from that and keeping the project within the guidelines of what the actual amount was supposed to be. And B&L removed the allotted fee of $1,200 for dye testing from some of the scope of the services. Everything else will be done as planned. So I guess this is more for informational purposes for the board, but it did come out to less money. Our employee Ethan Goslin was hired provisionally as a recreation facility manager pending his successful passing of the civil service test. He has completed and passed that test, and so we need a motion to make him from provisional to permanent.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to make him permanent.
We have a motion by trustee Gadway, second by trustee Arnold, to make Ethan permanent facility manager. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. We also have recreation worker Greg McCallum has passed his 6-month probationary period, and we need a motion to make him a permanent recreation maintenance worker.
Motion to make him permanent.
Second.
Okay, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Right. Okay, and then we have a request an executive session to discuss a particular employee. This was one of trustee Dart's things.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay, I think that's all I have now. Trustee Arnold.
Okay, you all have a copy of the request of the door for the library?
You just, well, I had the one.
Yeah,
We got 2 quotes, right?
I didn't get the other quote yet, but we had one, stuff like that, because it's an oddball door. I mean, it's only, I haven't got the paper. Somebody took my paper, whatever.
I didn't bring mine either, it's on my desk in the office, but all we need to do is get a copy from, say, Lowe's as a second quote, somebody,
Or sample lumber?
anybody, whatever is
Okay.
closest and easier for you to do.
Okay, I'll do that next week before.
They won't have time to put it up this week anyway, it'll
No,
probably take a
no.
couple weeks to order.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be probably more than a couple weeks, but It's an oddball size. I mean,
Do you remember what the price was on that, the one quote you got? It's like,
$675.
okay,
Yeah.
what we could do is, you make a motion to buy the door of whichever the two quotes is less. We know it's not gonna exceed $674.
Yeah,
So if you get another quote and it's less, we'll get it from the other vendor. If it's more, we'll get this one, but then we won't have to wait 2 more weeks to order.
okay, all right.
So if somebody wants to make a motion for that,
So move.
Ben, you want to second that?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so that's how we'll do that. When we get the second quote in, you take the lesser of the two quotes and order the door from them,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, sidewalks,
Yes.
up on, by the railroad station on Pratt Street, where they dug and everything, the railroad dug and put new, signs up and traffic, things, arms and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And they dug both sides and stuff, and it's all crushed stone all over the place and everything like that. I was wondering if the village could put either some sidewalks up there or some tarmac. Because when they plow in the wintertime, I got this much, at least this much stone in front of my driveway. When I go through there with my lawnmower, or with my snowblower, it doesn't, you know,
How long are you talking about? The length of the sidewalk you're talking about?
oh, probably 20 feet or 15 feet on each side, 20 feet on
Yeah, I'll
each
tell you
side.
what I'll do. I'll talk to the public works supervisor tomorrow or the next day.
You
and
can
see
get it
what-
done before winter, you
Well,
know?
we gotta figure out when they're doing tarmacking.
Right.
Or if he wants to do sidewalk, he can look at it and see whatever's better.
Okay. That sounds good.
Because we can get that fixed up, that's no problem.
Okay. All right. What else I got here? Do we have any more information on the land up the Wyatt for the water plant?
Yes, I talked to the engineer today. He hasn't heard back from the ERS yet, but he's saying that we only need about 3 acres or 3.5 acres, not the whole 7 acres. And I think that would be better to take as least off the tax rolls as we can. He said they're gonna do the core boring the end of July, this month. And he asked them if they get a cancellation, the core boring people, if they can move it up, and they said they would if they get it. And he says it's not unusual that they get cancellations on this, so. Some other project get canceled, doesn't get moved up, but it'll be the latest it'll be done is the end of this month. Then we'll know if we're gonna buy it or not.
Right, okay.
So now on that 3.5, say 3.5 acres, did we allow for the dog park up there too?
That's what I told him, is I said, I wanna have enough room for, I said, we don't wanna cramp it. I mean, we wanna have the new plant, room for future expansion, room if they have to park a truck or something next to it, or whatever they do, and he understands that. I think the building, I don't remember, you remember, it was like 7,000 square feet?
Yeah, it's not that.
Which is not big, and it's gonna be tied up to the tower itself.
Tower, yeah.
And then there'll probably still be plenty of room around there, so. You know, it just didn't seem to take it all the way down to
Yeah.
Crestview Cherry Apartments, you know, just. so.
Okay, and the other thing I got is, can you look at a tree on State Street in front of by Willard Overy's? It's 3/4 dead,
Yeah, okay, I will do that.
okay? And see if we can't get that taken care of. And the next thing is.
I told him about the one at Mrs. Anktel's house.
Yeah.
They're gonna take that one down, I don't know when, but they're gonna do that.
Okay. The property down here on Montgomery Street, or Lake Street, Lower Lake Street, where Freddie Martin used to live,
Yeah,
the new guy.
Little house,
Jerry
little house
Bouchard,
there.
Yeah, Jerry Bouchard bought. He'd like to know if there's any way possible he can buy the land behind it.
well, we have to decide if we wanna surplus it,
Yeah.
be something we can think about.
Well, it would go on, back on the taxes anyhow.
I know,
You know? So, I mean, he's cleaned it up quite a bit back there, and he wants to put a fence and stuff like that, and he'd like to know if he could buy what he owns all the way straight back. You know, his property all the way straight back. So,
Okay, we'll consider it, we'll check into it. I mean, we wanna make sure we're not cutting off some right of way that we need for something.
you know,
You know,
Mhm.
You know, we make a quick decision too quick and,
Oh, yeah.
you know, we don't know
But
that.
anyhow, just, bring it up.
Like, I don't know if we ever bring that power line up there, you know, pods,
No,
Substation.
would that be around there someplace?
no,
I
that'd
don't
be
know.
down further. That'd be down more towards the customs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyhow. But I think there is, the main sewer goes up through there, is there? I think, Mr. Falcon, you know, is there a sewer pipe that goes in that, back of that property?
The outfall line goes from the sewer plant over toward the restaurant, right down the driveway. There's I think a 50-foot right of way through there, or
Is it on-
25-foot right
is
of
it
way.
On the wrong side?
On the
Mr.
wrong
Law's
side,
Oh,
on the north
wow.
side of the building.
Okay, so we wouldn't have no problem there. Okay. And the next thing I got is, the sidewalk on Montgomery Street. How come you told the village crew not to sweep the sidewalk? We brought that up before. Tom.
Because I wanted to test the longevity of undisturbed concrete surface compared to broom finished surface on that section. It matches exactly the section next to it in front of the village park, which is smooth, because it's whatever brooming was worn off. I talked to the engineer, and he said there's no engineering requirement to broom sidewalks. And I talked to two contractors, independent contractors, not from this area, and they had conflicting views about doing that.
Well, you already got the one down by Brett Favreau's, a test one down there.
I didn't do anything down there.
There's no brooming down there in front of
I
Brett
didn't tell
Favreau's.
them not to, I don't know anything about that.
That was the first time that you did this, that we brought it up at the village board meeting, and we voted to broom all sidewalks from now on.
Well, we didn't broom that one.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we tear it out and be re-broomed.
Well, we're not gonna do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's
Why not?
ridiculous to have
Why
somebody,
why are we're putting in these new sidewalks, they should be uniform. I mean, we've
Go up and-
we've always brushed the sidewalk.
Go up and look at the one in front of the village park, immediately north of me. Look at it, right where theirs stops and the new one starts. You can't see a broom mark on there.
doesn't make any difference,
Doesn't make
Tom.
any difference. It's new sidewalk, it should be groomed.
It's wearing
right.
out within 2 years, from what I can tell.
I don't care. You were the only one in Ross's Point, because you're the mayor, you said not to broom the sidewalk. Anybody else in the village would have to.
If they ask not to, we consider it.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It just makes it slipperier.
I mean, I know you can tell them what to do, but you can't tell them how to do it. That's ridiculous to do that.
Especially on a small section.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes the crew look like they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
No,
Right.
It's not uniform at all, I mean, we broom every other piece of sidewalk that we did. How many feet of sidewalk did we do? 900?
No, probably about 12, 1,400.
Okay, and
Yeah.
we skipped, what, 100 feet?
120 feet. Well, I'll tell you what, it looks pretty shiny down there, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
If somebody slips and falls in there, who's gonna take responsibility?
Nobody's gonna fall.
Nobody's gonna fall.
It wasn't broomed before. The stuff that they took out was not
Yeah.
broomed.
Don't talk it out, well.
We
It was
always-
broomed. It was
We've always
broomed.
broomed, Tom, we brought this up before, we've always broomed the sidewalks.
Yeah.
It's a safety issue.
So, anyhow.
You have anything else?
Yes, I got one other thing. I can't see why the village can't have election for our trustees and mayor.
We are.
Not, before, there's no, there's no law says that the governor rules out that he don't care if on small government, elections or nothing like that.
Yeah, there is. He issued an executive order. He said no elections in March.
Yeah,
And he,
that's
and
right.
he, and he moved it to June, and then he moved it from June until
Right.
September 15th.
Plattsburgh had primary elections. Why can't we have
We
village
did.
elections?
That's
Can
the, that's the,
I interject? The elections are separated by what they're elections for, whether it's for a city, whether it's a primary, whether it's a village. And village elections are required to wait until September 15th.
Well, I don't know, I'm gonna call the governor's office and ask, and have a letter sent to us. This is ridiculous.
You
I
can
mean,
check
if
on
we had-
NICOM, the New York, what's it?
Conference of Mayors.
Conference of Mayors.
Can you
That
call
was a-
them?
Yeah, I was just on a webinar with them Friday or Thursday,
Yeah,
about doing the election on the 15th of September. We don't have an option to do it any earlier. And they went through what we'll have to do as far as, do we have to do new resolutions? We have to republish certain things in the paper at certain times. If we have to change our election inspectors, we'd have to have a resolution at our next meeting, which luckily I don't think we will have to. But they gave us a whole timetable of what going up to the election, because they start at election date and then they count back 40 days. By 40 days, you have to have all your resolutions in and that sort of thing. So as a village, we don't have the ability to change the dates ourselves at all. Every
well,
village
Donna
in New York
Bomeo got
State.
a letter stating that we could have elections. We could have had elections in March.
No, we couldn't.
Yes, we could have.
No, we couldn't.
Yes,
That's not true.
it was one day, one day.
New York State, that was another thing that came up with this screwy state we live in. If the 18th falls on a Tuesday, or the 17th, whatever it was,
Right.
you have to move it to a Wednesday. You know why that is? For St. Patrick's Day, they moved the election date. It's not even a holiday. It's like Valentine's Day or Halloween or something. New York State has a law that the election can't be on the Tuesday if that's when St. Patrick's Day falls on the same day. And then when they delayed it a day, that was when they cut it off.
I think it's kind of ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but
What
that's
if,
what
what
he
if we
did.
what if we have another outburst and stuff like that, and then we gotta keep going around and around and around?
I don't know, Ben. I don't like this any more than anybody else.
Yeah, well. Anyhow, okay, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor, at this time.
Okay, trustee Dart is absent. Trustee Menard?
Just one thing tonight, I would like to thank the fire department and the 4th of July committee for the parade that they went through every street in town, and I think everybody enjoyed it. I've seen a lot of people out, I just would like to thank them. That's all I have.
You got that? No? I'll let you bring that one.
Trustee Gatway?
I got a couple things. I spoke with Ethan. Everything's going good with mowing. They're staying on top of it. The gymnastics that they had was a big hit. I know they had at least 2 sessions, 2 times for the age groups. And I know my daughter did the first one, and they were full. Second is, do you know when those trees are supposed to be in? The ones that we-
Oh, it has to be in the end of
The trees are gonna be
September
in
or October.
Yeah, they don't dig up and transplant trees and stuff.
October, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
October, sometime in October.
I just wasn't sure when those were supposed to come in.
Yeah.
And just a quote, Penny?
Yes,
We have a quote from Ryan Sealing and Striping to line striping on the east side, north side, along with 1 row of back-to-back in the center that we discussed at the last board meeting. 2 handicap symbols, hashtags in front of the entrance to the building, between handicap spaces. And this was $506. And that is all I have.
Okay, was this the place that you talked to last year, Ben?
yeah,
You got a quote from?
Shinberg, yeah.
I'm saying, do we need a second quote for that, or can we just award this?
So it'll be 2 verbal quotes, so we'll get another verbal quote now. It doesn't even have to be in writing.
I don't know who else does striping, I have no idea.
I think it's kind of a unique
It's-
vendor
If it's
service.
$499, you can get away with it.
How much is it?
506.
Tell them it's gonna be $4.99 and we'll award it to them.
Right. Sounds
Okay,
good.
somebody wanna make a motion for that? Not to exceed $499?
I'll make the motion that we contact Ryan Sealing and Striping and see if we'll do $499 and award it to him.
Okay. Ben, you want to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, need a motion to go into, recess for executive session.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Also,
Wait a second. Anyone else from the public wish to address the board at this time? No? Okay. It's been so long, we haven't any public in there.
Also, Ethan got a quote. Ethan was out there today, that Shimmer was out there.